There are many barren and forsaken lands within Middle-earth, ruled by evil and plagued by ill fortune and foul creatures. The greatest of these is the kingdom of Angmar in the north, for this cruel realm is the stronghold of the Witch King, Sauron's chief servant and the lord of the Nazgul. So, welcome to the Critical Focus channel, Tabletop Skinny, and this 10th installment of the Army Focus series for Middle-earth strategy battle game. Let's get cracking with the army composition, right? This army may include the Witch King of Angmar, the Tainted, the Druimilake Gulavar, the Terror of Honor, Mordor, Troll Chieftain, Shades, Barrow-wights, Angmar Orc Captains, Angmar Orc Shamans, Wild Warg Chieftains, Angmar Orc Warriors, Angmar Warg Riders, Cave Trolls, Wild Wargs, and Dead Marsh Spectres. The profile for the Witch King can be found on page 114 or in the previous installment of this Army Focus series. That is the Barad-dûr episode. The Witch King of Angmar counts as a hero of legend if you take him as part of an Angmar list. And the army bonus is as follows. If that fell kingdom should arise again, Rivendell, Lorien, the Shire, even Gondor itself shall fall. Friendly Angmar Orc models within 3 inches of friendly spirit hero model gain the terror special rule, and that, my friends, is quite nasty. So, as noted, the Witch King has already been introduced in the previous video and in the list for Barad-dûr. So starting off this list is the Tainted, which is one of the ring rates. He is 120 points, hero of valor, with a fight of 5, a defense of 8, and 214, 2 for heroics. Heavy armor and sword for war gear, can do heroic channeling, can take the armored fell beast and the usual options for the ring wraiths. He's Harbinger of Evil and obviously causes terror. He has the passive miasmatic presence. At the start of the move phase before heroic actions are declared, the Tainted may elect to spend a will point. If he does this until the end of the turn, all warrior models within 6 of the Tainted may not benefit from the standfast rule, nor take part in heroic actions. And he also has the Seeping Decay passive rule. At the start of the fight phase, you roll a d6 for each non-spirit model, friend or enemy, in base contact with the Tainted. If the model is a cavalry model, roll for both the mount and the rider. On the roll of a 6, they suffer a wound. And he can do a plethora of medical powers as well. Drain Courage, Transfix, Compel, Black Dart, Instill Fear, and Sap Will. Next up is the Druimilake, also 120 points, with a fight of 5 as well, and defense of 8 and all that stuff. So no might, but 16 will this time, and 2 fate. Basically all the same standard rules as for special rules. He has the Sap Fortitude passive. Every time a hero model within 6 of him spends a point of might, will, or fate, the Druimilake may elect to spend a point of will. If he does, roll a d6. On a 4+, the enemy hero model must spend an additional point, or the deed will be cancelled, and any might, will, or fate already committed will be lost. Note that a hero model that wishes to expend multiple points of might, will, or fate may wait to see how the Druimilake roll affects their first point of might, will, or fate before committing to spend any more. The Druimilake will have to spend a point of will for every point he wishes to affect, though. He may wait to see how his first point of will affected his opponent before deciding to spend another point of will. So quite a nasty little thing there. And he can do all the same medical powers that the Tainted could. Next up we have a very unique model. It's kind of hard to actually acquire this model if you're not going for 3D printed stuff or proxies. He is the Gulavar, the Terror of Honor. He's 200 points and no options available. 3 might, 3 will, 0 fate, with a fight of 7 and a strength of 8. Quite nasty. 4 wounds as well. Heroic strength and defense, 4 actions. And he's a flying creature, obviously. He has a monstrous charge, resistant to magic, terror, all that stuff. He has an active rule, Immortal Hunger. He can regain a single wound for each model he slays in combat. And he's quite good at doing that, right? Rend is the only brutal power attack that allows Gulliver to regain wound in this manner, though. This can never take his wound beyond his starting level. Strength of body, strength of will is a passive rule he has. His attack and courage are always equal to his remaining wounds. Quite a nasty model there. Then we have Mordor, the Troll Chieftain, for 110 points, a hero of valor. 3-1-1 for heroics, 6 fight, 6 strength, 6 defense. So he's kind of a weaker troll, but he has those might and will and fate points. 3 attacks, 3 wounds, and he has he's armed with a pick. He has the strike, strength, and challenge heroic actions. And he has the lead by example special active rule in a turn in which Mordor slays an enemy hero or monster model in combat. All friendly Angmar models and troll models within 6 of him counts as being in range of a banner. Then we have the Shades for 100 points, Heroes of Fortitude, 0 might, 8 will, and 0 fate. With a fight value of 1, a strength of 1, defense of 8, 1 attack, 3 wounds, 1 courage. Whilst the Shade has no specific weapon, it is a twisted mass of undead beings constantly lashing out at the enemies of the Witch King. Shade never counts as an unarmed. He has a Blades to the Dead special rule, so he strikes at your courage instead of your defense. It causes terror. He has the Chill Aura passive rule. At the start of the fight phase, before heroic actions are declared, Shade makes spend a will point to activate its ability. Any enemy model within 6 of 1 or more Shades suffer -1 penalty on its dual rolls. So he's more like a debuff kind of character than a fighty type, right? Nasty little critter. Then we have 50 points worth of Battle White, Hero of Fortitude, 0 might, 5 will, 0 fate. With a fight of 3, strength 3, defense 7, 1 attack, 2 wounds. Armed with heavy armor and sword. Also has that Blade of the Dead nasty rule. And can also do magic power paralyze with a range of 6 and a 4+. Then we have Angmar, all captains for 40 points. There are nothing much to talk about. Very similar to the Barad-dûr ones. 2 might, 1 will, 1 fate, 4 fight. All pretty standard, right? 2 wounds, 2 attacks. And can be upgraded with a warg, orc bow, and a shield. And we have Shamans. 1 might, 3 will, 1 fate. For 50 points, minor heroes. They can do the Wither and Instill Fear magical powers. It can also be taken on a warg. Then we have Wild Warg Chieftains for 80 points, Heroes of Fortitude. These are pretty cool. They have 2 might, 2 will, and 1 fate, with 3 attacks, 3 wounds. They're quite nasty, and should be for 80 points. Obviously, fight 5 and strength 6 as well. Can take march and strength for heroic actions. It causes terror, and they have the Packlord active special rule. Only friendly warg models may benefit from a Wild Warg Chieftain stand fast. Yeah, they're pretty awesome beasts. And we have warriors, Angmar Orc Warriors for 5 points, very similar to the Barad-dûr ones. 3 fights, 3 strength, 4 defense. Can take the usual options for infantry, right? 2 courage is obviously pretty crappy. Then we have Angmar Warg Riders for 11 points. They are pretty similar, pretty much same upgrades. Cave Trolls for 75 points. Pretty cool models, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, strength 6, fight 6. They can be an option to have a Troll Chain, and they may swap their spear for hand and half hammers for 5 points. They have the Troll Chain active rule. The chain is a throwing weapon with a range of 3 and a strength of 5. And the special rules, apart from the terror and throw stones, are the Burly special rule. Then we have Dead Marsh Spectres, which are really, really cool models for 15 points each. Only 2 fight, but I don't think that matters a lot. They have strength 3, defense 5, 1 attack, 1 wound. Blades of the Dead. And the active FL Light is in them. At any point during its move, a Spectre can choose a single enemy model anywhere within 12 inches and line of sight. This model must pass a courage test to make a full move under control of the Spectre's controlled player, even if it has already moved. This move cannot be used to enter an enemy model's control zone or perform actions that would cause direct harm to the target, such as jumping down a cliff. It may also not be used to have the target dismount or lie down. Affected models may move no further that turn and may not use active abilities for the remainder of the moon phase. Pretty nasty debuff. Wild Wargs for 7 points. Nothing much to talk about really. 3 fight, 4 strength is okay, obviously. 1 attack, 1 wound, 2 courage. So that's it for Angmar. Many years have passed since Sauron's defeat at the hands of the last alliance, yet his evil was not vanquished forever. For since the ring endured, so did Sauron's will. Atop his tower in Barad-dûr, Sauron's gaze pierces all. A great eye wreathed in flame, lidless and ever watching. He has spent much of the Third Age regaining his former strength, secretly growing his armies into the formidable force they once were, that one day he might come forth from Mordor and reclaim the One Ring. This army may include Witch King Angmar, Khamûl the Eastling, the Dark Marshal, the Undying, the Shadow Lord, the Tainted, the Knight of Umbar, the Betrayer, the Dwimelake, Ringwraiths, Shelob Gothmog, Lieutenant of Sauron, the Mouth of Sauron, Shagrat, Captain of Kid Ungol, Gorbag, Orc Captain, Grishnak, Orc Captain, Kardush, the Firecaller, Orc Captains, Orc Shamans, Orc Taskmasters, Orc Drummers, Morannon Orc Captains, Captain of the Black God Drummers, Black Númenórean Marshals, Mordor Uruk-hai Captains, Mordor Troll Chieftains, Great Beasts of Gorgoroth, Orc Warriors, Orc Trackers, Warg Riders, Morgul Stalkers, Morannon Orcs, Black Guards of Barad-dûr, Black Númenóreans, Morgul Knights, Mordor Uruk-hai, Mordor Trolls, Mordor Siege Bows, and Mordor War Catapults. Wow. So the profile for the Witch King and the Tainted and the Dwimelake can be found earlier, obviously. And then we have an arm bonus, our enemy is ready, his full strength gathered. While you have more models on the board than your opponent, friendly Mordor warriors gain +1 courage and may reroll 1s to wound when making strikes. Pretty nice, right? So first we have the Khamûl the Easterling for 120 points, very similar to other spirits basically, so I'm not going to go over his base stats. It's 212-2 for heroics. So let's go over the special rules, because that's why we're here. Essence Leech. If Khamûl makes a strike against an enemy model which causes a wound, he instantly gains a single point of will spent earlier for each wound caused. Additionally, Khamûl may expend a single point of will at the start of a fight phase before heroic actions are declared to increase either his fight strength or attack by 1 for the remainder of that fight. They can do the same powers as the previous Ringwraiths. Then we have the Dark Marshal. He has the special rule through fear, passive. At the start of the fight phase before heroic actions are declared, the Dark Marshal may elect to spend a point of will. If he does this, all friendly warrior models with 6 count as being enraged with banner. He has 214-2 for heroics. Then we have the Shadow Lord, 214-2 as well. He has the Pall of Darkness special rule. At the start of the move phase before heroic actions are declared, the Shadow Lord may spend a will point to activate his ability. Until the end of that turn, shots against the Shadow Lord or any model within 6 of him will only ever hit on a 6. And the Undying for 120, he has actually 2 passive special rules. Arcana Leech. At the start of the move phase before heroic actions are declared, he may blah blah blah. The Undying regains 1 will point for each magical power successfully cast by another model within 6. And he has the Eternal Willpower special rule as well. The Undying may expend will points in the same manner as fate points. That's really good. He has 18 will points actually, 218-0 for his heroics. Then we have the Knight of Umbar for 120 as well, 212-2 for heroics. He has the Combat Mimicry active rule. At the start of any fight phase, he may blah 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 will points. The Knight of Umbar can elect to use the fight strength or attack values of his opponent instead of his own. He does not need to adopt all of these characteristics. He could, for example, only adopt fight value. Pretty cool, right? Then the Betrayer, 214-2. He has the Master of Poison special rule. At the start of the move phase before heroic actions are declared, he may blah blah blah. Until the end of the turn, friendly models with a poison weapon special rule within 6 of the Betrayer may reroll all fail to wound rolls made with those weapons. And I'm also going to say that so the Betrayer is on the model list, but it's also on the Haradrim list. Khamûl is also for the Easterling list. So moving on from the Ringwraiths. We have Gothmog, Lieutenant of Sauron for 130 points, Hero of Valor, 331 for heroics, can take a warg and a shield, has fight 5, strength 4, defense 6, 3 attacks, 3 wounds. He has a Master of Battle special rule, and he has the passive The Age of Vengeance over Gothmog, and all friendly Mordor orcs within 3 of him gain the Hatred Man special rule. And the active The Time of the Orc has come. Once per game at the start of a fight phase, he can declare he's using this ability. For the remainder of the turn, all Mordor orc models within 12 may reroll fail to wound rolls when making strikes. Then we have the Mouth of Sauron for 70 points, 2 for 1 for heroics, fight 5, 2 attacks to wounds. And they can take the Armored Horse for 15, and he also causes terror. Gothmog does not. The Mouth of Sauron is a hero of valor. He can do Drain Courage, Transfix, and Instill Fear medical powers. And then we have Shagrat for 100 points, 3-3-3, awesome stat line. Hero Fortitude, Fight 5, Strength 5 actually then, but only Defense 5. But he can take in heavy armor to have 6. And also a Shield of Kiritungdul, that will be even 7. So 3 attacks, 3 wounds. And the Shield of Kiritungdul had this special active rule when he charges against the knock to the ground bonus, exactly as if he were a cavalry. And he also has a Blood and Glory special rule. Then we have Gorbag for 55, Hero of Fortitude, 3-1-1. Only fight 4, Strength 4, 2 attacks, 2 wounds. You can take the Shield to have Defense 6. He has the Orcish Brawler special rule. If he's outnumbered during a fight, he gains +1 to his fight and attack values. And then we have Grishnak for 50 points. Hero Fortitude, 3-1-1. Fight 4, Strength 4, Defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds. Shield for 5 he can be upgraded with. And the Backstabber special rule. If I find that rule, I'll add it in here in the post-production. Then we have Kadush, the Firecaller, for 60 points. 1-3-1. Heroic Channeling. His basic stats aren't all that interesting, only 4 defense, 2 wounds. But he's obviously spellcaster. He has the Hero of Darkness special rule at the start of a priority phase. Before any dice are rolled, he can drain the life force of a friendly orc model within 6 to remove it, and then immediately regains D3 will points. It's pretty nasty. And the Shadow Pawn passive rule at the start of any priority phase before any dice are rolled. He can be removed as a casualty to allow a single friendly ring wraith within 6 to immediately regain D6 will points. And he can do the Flame Burst and Fury Mordor Orc medical power. Then we have Captains for 50 points, basic Hero Fortitudes. Nothing super interesting. They are Defense 6 and can take a shield to have Defense 7. And they can also have 2-handed weapons. Then we have Captains of the Blackguard for 65 points, Heroes of Fortitude. 2-1-1, Fight 5, Strength 5, Defense 7. With that heavy armor and shield included. And they have this special rule for the Dark Lord. While at least one friendly ring wraith is on the battlefield, they have courage 6. Blackguard Drummers are independent heroes for 35 points. 0-0-1 for heroics. Heavy armor, sword and war drum, 4 fight, strength 5. Urukai Captains for 55 points. 2-1-1, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, fight 5, strength 5. Pretty beefy there. They can take the shield, orc bow, and 2-handed weapons. And then we have the Great Beast of Gorgoroth for 150 points, Heroes of Fortitude. Orc Commander is included. They cause terror, has the Trample special rule, and also the Battle platform right. And models with the Great Beast's Howdah do not count towards your force's bow limit. And there is a place for up to 9 orc warriors, excluding the commander. Great Beast has a fight of 4, strength of 6, defense of 7, 3 attacks, 5 wounds. Then we have the Stalkers, Morgul Stalkers for 10 points. They have just 1 wound, but they have 2 attacks. But fight 3 isn't all that great, but strength 4 at least, with a Stalk Unseen special rule. Then we have Morannon Orcs for 7 points. Nothing much to talk about here. Strength 4 is pretty good, but fight 3. Defense 5, but you can have 6 with the shield, and they can take banners and spears. The Blackguard of Barad-dûr for 12 points, kind of elite infantry here. They are fight 4, strength 5, and defense 6 can't be upgraded, but they can take banners for 25 points. Then we have Mordor Urukais for 8 points each, with that strength 4 and fight 4. Can take banners, orc bows, shields, and 2-handed maces. That is it for Mordor and Angmar. So, if you enjoy the series here, the walkthroughs. Make sure to like the video, hit that bell button, leave a comment, and subscribe for further content here. Without further ado then, take care.